Good evening, everybody. Just take your hands off and it's quick for all of the United States Navy for 4 years now. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. We're honored tonight to have with us Gabrielle Gifford, District Director Ron Barber, who's going to start us off tonight with a few comments.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for being here. This is a much crazier crowd than we had last night, I can tell you. You were down in Tucson High School last night. You'll know that we had a few folks in the audience who didn't think that the public option or healthcare reform or anything like that was necessary. In fact, they oftentimes called the Congressman a fascist because he believed in the public option. We all know that that's one critical way we're going to get healthcare reform in this country. Congresswoman Gifford would be here tonight, but she was on a plane to Washington, D.C. about 4 hours ago, and unfortunately could not come, but she asked me to come in her stead and to thank you first of all for being here. This show of strength is important. The people who have been typically lining this corner have not been of the same perspective that we have. And that is that we can no longer have a situation in our country, the most prosperous country in the world, where 50 million Americans go without health care. It cannot be the same. We cannot have a situation in this country where people all across this land are going into bankruptcy because they cannot afford to pay medical care costs. That has to stop. So we cannot continue to have a country that says to the people who need to have health care and end up in the emergency room that we don't care about you, we don't care about prevention, we don't care about primary care, we only care about profit, which is really what's keeping a lot of people out of the healthcare system. We have to change this, and healthcare reform has to happen this year. I think it's fair to say that people who are opposed to healthcare have been able to demonize what we're trying to do, and regrettably they've been fairly effective for a while. So this kind of gathering tonight tells me that the tide is turning. Because the people who represent the other view, who will come to a meeting like we had last night, where the Congressman was trying to hear from constituents, and it will howl and boo and call her a liar when she says we need reform, those people have to be responded to, and the only way we can do it is by respectfully showing up as you are tonight, by having a civil conversation, by having a rational argument, which we have plenty of, why we have to do this, by then letting the American people know that the people who previously were on this corner opposing healthcare reform do not represent the majority of people in this country. So I do thank you for being here. It's very encouraging to us. I'll just share a couple of other thoughts about what we've been dealing with the last several weeks. We have had thousands of calls to our offices and thousands of emails. In fact, at last count, we had 22,000 people write to us or call us about healthcare reform. I regret to tell you that the vast majority of them were people who are opposed to what we're trying to do. And that's because they organized, they got out, they compelled people with all kinds of misinformation and lies to oppose healthcare reform. We have to tell the truth and turn the tide, and that's what you're doing here tonight, and I appreciate it so very much. Now, we have a big event coming up next week. The President announced today that he's going to have a speech to a joint session of Congress. This is very unusual for a single policy issue, but it's going to be about healthcare reform and why we need it. And we believe that the President will state the case very clearly the truth to Americans. It's not about euthanizing seniors. You know, it's not about the slow path to fascism and totalitarian government. We had a speaker last night who had the audacity to say that every totalitarian government in the world started by nationalizing health care. That's the road we're on. We have to correct this misinformation that is misleading so many people and getting them to have fear. And the scare tactics, unfortunately, have begun to work, but we're going to turn the tide. So again, thank you so much for being here tonight. Keep up the fight. Yes, the dream shall never die. We are going to have healthcare reform.